First long journey. So I've been researching and I've got the things that I absolutely can't do this journey without. One, a full battery. Can't show you that bit. Two, this, my own charging lead, because lots of chargers apparently don't have a charging lead. A phone with Zap Map on it, because that's going to help me find chargers along the way. And as a consequence, if I run out of charge on my phone, I'm really out of luck. So a phone charger for the car. Quite nervous. So switched on, I've got 143 miles in normal mode. In economy mode, I've got 157, which is pretty good. My journey is 122. I'm going to go cross country because I want to see how that goes and then compare it with coming home on the motorway. The downside of cross country and the slight risk is there's not that many chargers along the way. Very few, in fact. So we might be driving with the heating off for a little while if we have to save. It's not for the faint-hearted necessarily. Okay. We're off. So 69 to go. I knew this was going too well. Road closed. Okay, so now we've got a diversion.
Route calculation.
Thank you. Yeah, I was doing that too. Right, so following the signs for diverted traffic. However, there is no sign that goes, if you're driving an EV, this diversion will add an extra 10 miles, 5 miles, 15 miles. Oh. Look, we've still got plenty of miles in the bank. I've still got 120 miles because I'm driving across country and it's just not eating up the miles at all. So fingers crossed this isn't going to be a big diversion. So 99 miles range, and my sat nav tells me we've got 58 miles to go. So range-wise, I'm doing really well. I've got a lot of miles in my credit, so to speak, and I'm feeling quite confident that I'll get there without actually having to recharge, which I wasn't feeling confident about that at the start of this journey. And I'm sure it's because we're going cross-country. It just doesn't seem to be eating up the miles at the rate I was expecting, which is really nice. So I might not even have to charge at all on the way there. And okay, we've come cross-country, and that's in theory, a longer way of going than the motorway. But if I don't have to stop and charge, that's going to save me time. So it's quite, and this is a lovely route. I mean, who doesn't like driving through the Cotswolds? So literally 3 miles left until we get there. I've got 40 miles left and I just had a state of charge low warning. I think that's amazing considering we've been traveling for hours now. And we have had to stop, but not to charge for a wee. So it's quite interesting really when you think about that. We've had to stop anyway because we needed a wee, but not because we needed to charge. So I'm kind of impressed with going cross country actually, because I have also felt really relaxed knowing, look, I still got 40 miles. And that's really nice. I'm not constantly worrying, like checking. Not that it's a massive worry, but it's just, you know, you don't have to stop this way if you don't want to. So yeah, almost there. So we're just about at the end of a big charge. 93%, I'm almost fully charged, which gets me ready for a trip home on the motorway, and we'll be able to compare the difference. So 73 miles left to go, and I still have 131 miles on the clock, and that's mainly because we've been stuck in traffic. So we've been toing, froing between, right down into the charging zone and not really using much of a percentage. So yeah, that's eaten up our time, but it's been quite good in terms of how much charge we still have left in terms of our range. So I could welly it, but I'm still superstitious enough to want to keep that in the bag because it's getting dark. We're going to have our lights on, it's cold, we're going to have our heating on. Those miles will get eaten up quite rapidly. Home. Dark. But home with 32 miles to spare. It was interesting, the motorway journey, because there was lots and lots of traffic, and so that gave me ample opportunity to kind of keep the charge. It's when it's going faster that ratio of I start off with 50 extra miles, that goes down to 40 extra miles, 30 extra miles, starts to get a bit squeezed. But it wasn't too bad today at all, and it's also just so interesting to compare the two journeys. Both had roadworks and traffic, so the motorway one and the cross country had delays on them. I think without those delays, I think we would have eaten up the miles much quicker on the motorway. That seems to be the general idea, and then you spend more time charging, whereas the cross-country route you spend less time charging. But then all of that depends where you're going and if there is a viable cross-country route to get there. Today there really was one. The Motorway is beautiful and really quite a direct route to where we were going. So the answer is you just have to play with it, and you just have to get used to balancing all of these ideas in your head of time, charging, miles, rate of use, and what it is you're using and not using. But it's quite an interesting experiment to compare the two like we have done today.